Oregon beats Wisconsin 21-7. The game was probably closer than most people wanted. There at the first half, it was 7-0 to end the first half. I know some Oregon fans were very upset with my performance tier rating of putting them in the questionable category, saying it was a sloppy, wet game. You got to give us more grace. And I think I can give more grace if like the team is trying to throw the ball around and it's just not being completed very well. Dante Moore threw the ball 15 times in this game. He was 9 of 15 in this game. This was not a game where Oregon, was trying to throw the ball around a bunch. Now, you need to give Oregon a whole lot of credit because their young running backs were huge for them in this one, especially down the stretch, and the offensive line looked much better. But you could definitely say there were some issues with Oregon in the first half of this game. Got them corrected in the second half. Props to them on that one, but definitely some stuff there. We're going to remain positive to start. So, Zach, your thoughts on Oregon's win and what impressed you most with that win?
Yeah, I think again, big picture, they were able to finish the game despite a lackluster performance, which is a big deal because sometimes you have those games. Again, the weather was terrible. I think I saw 30-mile-an-hour winds,
And,
driving
and, and it does need
rainstorm.
to be mentioned the weather was
Yeah,
terrible. Like, you can't just completely say it didn't happen. But I'm
yeah,
one of those people that's like, I don't like blaming it all on the weather, you
yeah.
know?
We do need to point out negatives here, but I'll just start by saying this: you can easily lose games like this, where not everything's clicking, the elements are against you, and Wisconsin, I think, was playing inspired ball, at least on the line of scrimmage. And Oregon just churned it out. And the running backs, I think you're going to mention something about the running backs, but the running backs did their job. They had a good performance. They were able to keep going even after Dante Moore got hurt. And yeah, like they just got through it. And sometimes you have to just give props to a team that doesn't have their fastball. I think it was a few years ago when Ohio State was at Northwestern, there was a huge there was like a hurricane, right? Or some sort of huge storm going through. And everybody's like, oh, CJ Stroud only threw 50 yards. Okay. You're not going to throw for a lot of yards when you're in a
Well,
windstorm.
and part of
So
that was also on Ryan Day because he threw the ball like over 20 yards that day or
that's
over 20 times that day,
yeah.
right? If that was happening in this one, I'd be like, okay, I'm not down on Oregon. I'm just down
Yeah.
on the play calling of Will Stein, right? That you're
Yeah.
throwing the ball 20 plus times in these kind of conditions, but um, you know,
Yeah. My point though is that they found a way to win, and sometimes these types of games can get away from you, even against a team that you would think would never beat Oregon. The fact that they were able to kind of work through it, that it's good, not just that they won the game, but it's good for their culture, for their locker room. It's like, hey, we've been in a tough situation. We can deal with this.
well, and it's also good too. I mean, you look at these Oregon running backs, and I mean these freshman running backs for Oregon have been a godsend this season because Oregon's running backs, it kind of feels like whoever it needs to be each game steps up. Jordan Davison kind of started the year as more of the short yardage back, and then in this game he's getting 16 carries for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then right behind him Noah Whittington 14 carries for 97 yards. I mean, for at the beginning of the season, we were like, why aren't we seeing Makai Hughes? Like, what's going on there? We learned pretty quickly, and we definitely learned in this game that Oregon did a great job of recruiting running backs, and they've done a great job of developing them as well. Noah Whittington, he's been out a little bit this season, but when he's played, he's looked really good. JR Hill, he only got 2 carries in this game. He's been the leading rusher for Oregon a couple times this season. I need to go and do like double checking on the stats and stuff, but from what I checked out, the only 2 teams in the nation that have had 4 different running backs be leading rushers in a game for their team this season is Oregon and Northwestern. Those are the only two
Mhm.
teams that have been able to do that, which shows just how deep that running back room is. You got Whittington, Davison, Deer
Yeah.
Hill. I mean, all these guys that are able to get these big games and be able to lead the team in rushing for you. And Dante Moore, he can scoot as well, but he doesn't have to as much because you have this big stable of running backs. And I just think that's a godsend. I think it's great for Oregon that they have that type of ability, and especially in this game. Once the Oregon offensive line got going, kind of started there at the end of the second quarter, and it really took off. I think they had almost 200 yards rushing in the second half alone. So major credit, major props there. But a slow start for Oregon that, you know, coming off the Rutgers game, it looked really, really good. But this Wisconsin one, you wanted to see the dominance that Iowa had
Yep.
at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, you didn't. You just did not see that for the entirety of the game. You saw it for the second half, but you didn't see it for the entirety of the game.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
So, any thoughts on Wisconsin?
You know, they competed, and I give them credit for that.
I
I
feel like
will.
I'm validated in how much I talk about their run defense now, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've gotten some
I
crap from people in the comment section that are like, "Man, you this guy's trying to gas up Wisconsin." It's like, no, I'm not gassing him up. It's real. It is something they
there
actually do well, and
there is
nobody
a
wants to give them
strength.
credit for it.
There is a strength there. And here's my concern. And I see a couple Oregon fans, kind of fighting like, oh, like Oregon was fine. It was 21-0. Da, da, da. Listen, if I'm Oregon, I'm concerned about the lines.
I'm
Like,
not concerned.
I'm concerned.
No, I think it's not the best line in the Big Ten, but it's still top three.
Well,
You can't discount what happened in the second half.
no, I'm not discounting it. I'm just
Okay.
saying if I know I have to go to Iowa and that's the performance I had against Wisconsin, I don't love that because you know what doesn't affect the line play? Weather.
Yeah,
And so
I mean,
so like for people who are saying, well, it was because of the rain or because of the wind, I am concerned
those
because of the fact that they have to go to Kinnick. And I'll just say, like, James, you're saying Iowa is not Wisconsin. Yeah, Iowa crushed Wisconsin. Iowa murdered them. And they murdered them on the lines. So, like, if you're thinking, well, Wisconsin's better on the lines, no, they're not. Not by a long shot.
Wisconsin's better on the lines than who?
No, if you're saying Wisconsin's better than Iowa on the lines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa's had a really good run defense this season. A lot of it's been because of that line, but you also can look at this and say this is a good thing for Oregon because they got smacked in the mouth, and they're going to come out and say, "Well, we're not as much a hot team as we thought we were.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into the weight room." Like we're not going to let this happen again. We need to be prepared for a muggy, gross game where the offensive line goes up against, you know, somebody that's a better unit than people give them credit for. So
Yeah.
I don't think we're being all that mean to Oregon right now. We said they
No.
struggled for the first quarter
Yeah.
and half of the second quarter, but
Yeah. We're not trying to transitive property this thing
no, we
either.
never said Iowa
We're
crushes Oregon. We said
yeah.
Iowa can give Oregon a good game.
Yeah.
It's not. I I recognize that sometimes we don't always come across as like the best sometimes because we can be critical of teams, but guys, we're gonna do our top 25s. I still have Oregon in the top five.
Yeah.
They're a really, really good football team. This is
Mm-hmm.
not about Oregon not looking good. This is about Iowa looking really good and Iowa having some of the best lines of scrimmage in the Big Ten. It's going to be an awesome matchup because Oregon has some of the best line of scrimmage in the Big Ten as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be awesome.
Well said. Well
SEC
said.
teams aren't going to appreciate it because
Yeah.
they want to see run and gun and do all this stuff. But in the Big Ten, we care about our offensive lines. We care about our defensive lines. It's going to be a
Yeah.
really, really good game.
And one going back to the matchup against Iowa, one thing that's really good. There's a bye week for both teams, and like it helps Oregon get right. Dante Moore get right. I think that's going to be huge for them.
I don't remember saying Oregon Lions can't compete. If I said that, I guess I was wrong, but I don't remember saying that. So
Maybe I might have said something. I may have. Yeah, I don't think we're trying to say they can't compete. I think we're saying I have a concern. JR doesn't even have a concern.
no,
I
I
have
don't
a
even have a
concern.
concern. It was like, yeah,
Yeah.
it was a rough first quarter and like half of a second quarter.
Yeah.
Oregon's still a really good football team. I still
Mm-hmm.
think Dan Lanning's one of the best. Oh, James said Zach did. Okay, you're the culprit.
Yeah. No, all I'm
Blame Zach,
saying,
not me.
I'm saying I have a concern. I'm not saying that their lines can't compete. I'm saying I have a concern that when they play Iowa, that might be a struggle. Now, who knows? They might they might go and they might, whip back into
Mhm.
shape after a week of rest, and I'll be like, okay, I was wrong. But
Oregon's got a big stretch here at the end of the season. I'm really excited to see the way they
yeah,
finish it out. It's going to be cool.
yeah.
You have USC, Washington, Iowa here to end the season. Um, it's going to be really, really fun watching this team to end the year because it's a fun team right
Mhm.
now. Dante Moore, hopefully he's okay. I haven't heard any news
Yeah, I think he's fine.
coming out of that one, but I know he broke his nose, so I'm sure he'll be back. But, you know,
Give him more character,
yeah, there you go. All right,
more
looking forward.
distinguished.
Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing Oregon the rest of the season. It's gonna be a great season.